What's going on, trucking YouTubes? A lot better week this week than it was last week. I mean, we didn't finish the week yet, so we'll see the final numbers. But overall, what I'm looking at, a lot quicker start, a lot better start than last week. Hopefully we can finish the week off pretty strong and, you know, get it going. And then this guy's trying to pass me, trying to go fast, but I'm going pretty fast, buddy. I'm going 86 miles per hour. But anyways, so we're trying to stay positive now, you know what I mean? We're not trying to get all this negativity get into us and kind of like just put us down and put us in a bad mood. So kind of like when I entered this week, I decided to stay positive, you know, like even if bad stuff happening, just stay positive. Because like no matter what happens, it could be a lot worse, you know what I mean? Like, you know, everything could crumble, like work-wise, and everything could go downhill, but as long as you're still kind of healthy, you got your family and everything, you'll figure a way out and you'll make it work. So I'm trying to keep a positive mindset. Like I said, I've been getting negative stuff thrown at me all day today, and usually like it would affect me, and then I would really get in a bad mood, and then like I'd be negative and, you know, depressed or just angry all day, you know. But for some reason I just been, you know, telling myself stay positive, and I've been staying pretty positive, and it's kind of been working. I mean, I'm sure, you know, eventually it's going to come down and something's going to happen where I'm not going to be able to keep this going, but for now I'm staying positive. So sorry, let me turn this off. So like I said, overall in trucking, a little bit better this week than last week. Hopefully it continues the trend. I mean, most of us already seen the news with Trump about the drivers that can't speak English signing the executive order. So like if this actually happens, this goes through, it's going to be kind of bad for those companies. They have a lot of those drivers, but then overall, like if they get taken out the market, it's going to be good for the trucking market, because then there's going to be kind of like a little bit of a driver shortage, and then all the brokers and customers won't be able to cover their freight, so the prices should go up. But like I said, you know, it's going to affect some companies in a good way, it's going to affect some companies in a bad way. I think a mixture of this, and if we find out, you know, we finalize the deal with China about these tariffs, I think it's a little perfect storm brewing to get a little traction and a little hot streak in trucking. Because if, you know, China opens back up, we got all these containers in, they get rid of all these drivers that can't speak English, whatever, there's going to be more freight, less people to take the freight, which is going to make the rates go up. So, you know, I mean, like I said, I don't wish bad on anyone, but at the same time, like I don't want to speak too much about it because I don't know, I never like dug deep or researched it, but I think I'm going to start researching it this week or next week and make a video about it, about all those visas they gave to the drivers and all the companies that are just hiring these people straight out of these different countries and just having them work, you know, for pennies on a dollar. Because if that's the case, that's what's going on. They're just bringing all these people in, they can't speak English, then these companies are taking advantage of them, and it's unfair for the market. And at the same time, I made a video about it on TikTok, but if like I came from a family that, like, you know, they're from Poland, you know, straight off the boat. I was born here, you know, but you know, the first language I learned was Polish because I couldn't speak English. And like, if, you know, my parents just came here, they can't speak English, they can't read English, and you're gonna, you know, I'm not gonna tell my dad go jump in a semi truck carrying 80,000 pounds and go drive down the highway, and you can't even read like what's construction going on or the warnings or any kind of like signs or nothing. That's dangerous for people around them, you know what I mean? So like, I'm not hating on immigrants because my parents were immigrants, but at the same time, it's like, you know, at least you got to know a little bit English and know how to learn English and, you know enough to communicate and, you know, to know what's going on around you, because if you don't, driving 80,000 pounds is crazy, you know? So, I mean, like I said, that hopefully the China tariffs come down a little bit. We get a little boost in trucking because we really need it, because it's been super bad right now. And I'm just trying to stay afloat and stay in business until that hot streak comes, because like all these losses you took 2-3 months, you know, of a good market, you can make up a whole year's worth of losses. You know, I've seen it happen in a month, you know, where like you could do it in a month, make so much money that, you know, you make up for all the losses, or you can make so much money you're good to take losses for the next whatever, you know. So that's what I'm hoping for. Like I said, the drive, I still got to go and make a YouTube video about the market. I'll try to make one this week, but I'm going to be a little tied up because we're moving office and warehouse spaces. So it might be a little difficult this week, but maybe like towards Friday, Saturday, I'll make it, see how the market's been doing for the 8 prior business days. But last time I looked, like all of them are up. Reefers are up, dry vans are up, flatbeds are up, you know. So hopefully this continues going. Hopefully people start making some money. Like, yeah, it sucks, about this executive order for the people that came here to work. But if they don't speak English, like, man, we gotta like care about our people first. Like about people that are here in America. They've been truck drivers for a while. Immigrants and non-immigrants, as long as they can, like read, write, and speak English. So that's going on. And it's just crazy. I don't know. It's getting to the point where it's just crazy. Hope something good happens. I'm going to try to, like I said, keep on trying to stay positive. That's my theme from now on, like no matter what happens. Obviously just like work related, if something tragic happens outside of work, then obviously, that you can't help that. But like with work, I'm going to try to stay positive. No matter like how bad it happens, as long as the doors are open, as long as you're, got cash flow going, as long as you're still trying, I'm going to try to stay positive. And, that's the only mindset that I could be in right now. So, I'm working on these TikToks and YouTubes. Hopefully something happens with that. I'm already getting like hit up about like, partnerships and affiliates and stuff like that. So hopefully that could be some extra revenue coming up, soon that's like significant. Because right now, actually, like, I'm not even like joking. Like everybody's like when I first started doing like my wife, everybody like, oh, you're crazy. Like, what do you want to be like internet famous? No, I don't. I just like trucking. And I seen that this is like a different stream of revenue that you could do, to make some extra money, and I enjoy doing it. Because like even like right now I'm talking and just like airing out my grievances, even though like 15, 20 people are gonna watch this video, if that, but who cares? At least I get to speak for however, like, it's been speaking for 6 minutes now, and it just feels good to get it off my chest. Because I don't want to sit there at work or at home and grieve to people about like my inner thoughts and about what like bothers me, and I just feel like I can get it out a little bit better here. And hopefully, if anybody is listening, hopefully, if grieve out your stuff in the comments, let me know. I'll be more than happy to respond, and we could grieve together. But trucking's been pretty bad. Like obviously everybody feels it, because it's not it's not just a company or a driver or owner op, whatever. It's the whole market. Everybody's feeling it. No matter who you talk to, I'm sure there's a couple of like outliers there to like go out there and they're doing good, or they're just lying about it in the comments just to feel good about themselves. But overall, like as a whole, trucking's doing super bad right now. And I'm not, I don't want to blame the administration. I don't want to blame anything. We just got to shut up and just deal with it and just hopefully make it through. And I know the good times are coming. I kind of really, not just being positive, but I really feel it in my bones that this mixture of this executive order, and once we reach a deal with China on the tariffs, it's going to be great. Like, I really feel like a big surplus of freight coming and a good trucking market. So, like I said, let's just hold tight, try to get to it, and hopefully we get there. And then everybody, that made it is gonna reap the rewards. And anybody that failed, well, at least maybe we could go get a job somewhere if we fail and then make money there. But or if you're like a driver, you're good regardless. If you're an owner op, you fail, that's gonna suck too. But whatever, man. Like, say you do fail, what are you gonna lose your truck, file bankruptcy? I mean, it is what it is, bro. That's life, Like, you have to just get back up and try again, and just do it smarter. Maybe save money, but I don't know, man. Like, I thought about so many things already, like in the past like 6 months, like just like game plans and what do I do this, and it's like, man, just don't think about it no more. Just whatever happens, and when it does happen, just do what you got to do to get out of it. And as long as you're gonna have a roof over your head and your family's head and be able to feed your family, I think that's all that matters. The rest, you'll figure out as it comes. But as long as you don't go like homeless or something like that. But like, anybody that fights and works hard, no matter what you do, you're always going to go get a job and at least provide like shelter and a roof over your family's head. I mean, obviously everybody aspires to they can make decent money and live life comfortably, but obviously, like, in this kind of market, like, you can't do it, unless you already were rich before and you're still rich, then yeah. But if you haven't gotten rich yet and you're trying to get rich and you're in trucking, in this market, you're not doing it. And if you're already trying to do it, like from a business aspect, like either like a trucking company owner or owner-operator, then obviously if you haven't became rich yet, you're struggling right now, and it's hard, and it's just like wrong place, wrong time, I guess. But you gotta fight through it. You gotta do whatever you gotta do to try to survive. And if you fail, dude. It is what it is. Like, honestly, it is what it is. As long as you don't give up after you fail, you keep on going. You do your duties as a man and as a husband and as a father, whatever. You're gonna be all right, man. So I don't know. I've been yapping already for almost 10 minutes now again. So for the 15, 20 people that listen, thank you. Good luck to everybody, and I'll see you guys on the next vlog.